name is Robyne Shea, and I'm an assistant director in film, as well as an ADHD holistic consultant and coach.
So ADHD. And I know you love the topic.
I do. It's one of my favorites.
Why?
Wow. Because I think that there's a lot of misunderstanding of what it is to those who don't have it, and there's way too much shame and guilt around the people that do have it. And I like to try to alleviate some of that.
Do you think that there's been a shift over time? Because back when I was just called hyper.
Oh, so was I. I was just, you're a hyper kid.
Yeah.
You're just, oh, she's just hyper. She eats too much sugar.
Yeah, but they left me alone, or they didn't bug me. Okay, he's just hyper. Let him run around. He'll burn off the energy. But now it feels like now that there are more and more labels, that there's more and more stigma around the labels. Because back then you're just hyper, or you're just focused, or you're daydreaming. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
talks too much in class,
Yeah.
Daydreams, doesn't complete homework. Yeah, all of those things. And I was fortunate enough to be diagnosed in childhood. And I say fortunate because that really did help throughout my life, because I never had to question. It was more questioning and educating myself as to what it is. But I think there's a lot of stigma, and there is a lot of more, I think maybe some of the adults got together and went, hey, we have a lot of children that are not paying attention in class and having troubles and are struggling and, talk out of turn, or some of them can get very angry. There can be the other side, and they'll be, there's a lot of fighting in school, there's too much bullying, things like this. And I think somewhere, some of these doctors started to speak up and say, hey, we actually have a diagnosis for this. This is something that is a thing, as opposed to just that child is disruptive or that person is disruptive, because adults can be disruptive too. So, yeah.
So someone that recently gets diagnosed, labeled with ADHD, what would you say to them?
Are they a child or are they an adult?
However the question is.
Congratulations. I would say my first actual probably would be, do you have any questions? And that how much of this now makes sense. Take a moment and think about, let's pretending that it's an adult. Look back, take a moment and look at your whole life. How much of this now that you've been diagnosed and you have some of these, traits or triggers or whatever you want to call them, how much of your life now makes sense? Because so much of it will. Right down to, did you have undescribable bruises all over your body as a child? Do you have unhealthy gut health? These are actually signs of ADHD. These are their symptoms. Skin issues can be a symptom. It's not just you can't sit still, you can't pay attention. It's so much more vast than I think the general population understands. And I hope that people who are diagnosed or want to be diagnosed really do some research and find someone. And even if you're not, even if it is just, oh, you have a little bit of anxiety or you have whatever it is, answers are so much better than questions. So, yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.